Thank you. It's awesome to be here. How are we doing this morning? Good? Yeah. Is there a football game today? I hear rumors. Yeah, rumors out here among the tribe that there's some kind of game going on. I have to confess, I am an Atlanta Falcons fan, but hold on. The good news is this: that we both hate Carolina. So, come on, right? Yeah. In fact, all of you who have your jerseys on or some kind of outfit, will you just stand up? I just want to honor you for your loyalty to your team. Yeah. Let's give these folks a hand. Now, wait. Come on. Get up, 18. Let's go. Get up out of there. There you go. Yeah, 18. Yeah. I'm not sure who let you in, but, we're good. This week, we're good. 2 weeks from now, maybe not, but this week, we're good. Well, thank you to Palmer, and I'm honored to be here. Just so you all know, let me return the favor a little bit to Palmer. You have a pastor and you have a church here. Sometimes when you're in the middle of something, you don't really recognize the influence that you have. But your church and this pastor and this team are arguably changing the game and really making a huge impact, not only on the issue of justice around the world for Christians and church leaders and leaders in general, but this space and this church is one of the most innovative places around the globe. And that's because of the vision of your pastor. It's because of the vision of your staff and this team that's here and you all as lay leaders. So I just want to return the favor and say thank you for allowing me, to be here. And you all are making a difference. Veronica, just love being a part of stepping in to not just a series here, but just being under your leadership and authority and allowing you to let me stand up here for a few minutes to share. I know that's a big deal, and thank you. So the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about H3, and some of you have been here, some of you haven't. Maybe this is the first time you're walking in, and you're like, what have we been doing? H3 leadership, what is this? Just as a little precursor, the first H in the H3 leadership idea is humble, and that's all about who you are. And then the second H is hungry, which is, how am I going to get there? Where do I want to go? Am I willing to learn? Am I willing to get better? Do I have ambition? Do I have a sense of passion? And today we're going to talk about hustle. The third H is hustle. Now some of you are fired up. You're like, hustle, come on, Brad, you're talking my language now. I'm a hustler, what's up, right? Some of you are going, hustle? Like, we don't talk about hustle in the church. What are we doing here? But I believe that leaders who hustle will have great impact and influence wherever they lead. And before we jump in, I just want to give you a little bit more of my story so you kind of know who's talking to you. I'm in Oklahoma, grew up in Oklahoma outside of Tulsa. We have any Oklahoma, anybody? Or where y'all from? You're really excited. Tulsa? No way, I grew up in Bristow. Do you know Bristow? Right there on the turnpike. Yeah, the last McDonald's before you get to Tulsa, or used to be, yeah. Who else was from Oklahoma? Yes, where are you from? Miami. And you have to say Miami, not Miami. Norman, thank you very much. Lord bless you, because I went to school at the University of Oklahoma. Can we just have a moment of silence for our Sooners? We made it to the semifinals, but that was as far as we got this year. So Oklahoma, I went to school at the University of Oklahoma, graduated. I was a history major. Any history majors in the house? We all know that it's the most worthless degree ever. Thank you. Yeah. All that money for nothing. Yeah. It was a great, if you remember facts, you're really good at being a history major. So I went to school at Oklahoma, got a history degree, and then went out and worked on this ranch in Colorado called Lost Valley. I truly wore Wrangler jeans and tacky Western shirts and a cowboy hat. I played the part for 5 years. It doesn't look like it now. I'm wearing old guy skinny jeans, but close enough. But for 5 years, I rode a horse. I was on the back of a horse and taking guests out and just living in that space of being a cowboy and working on a ranch. And then I got an opportunity to go work with a couple of guys who started a consulting firm, and one of our clients at the time was an organization that John Maxwell had started called Enjoy. And some of you who have been in the leadership space, you've read lots of leadership books, you know John Maxwell's name because he's written more books probably than any other leadership author in the history of sort of the leadership space. And so this was about 2000. I started working with John Maxwell. I was a young knucklehead. I was 27, thought I knew everything. I knew nothing. And we decided we wanted to start something called Catalyst, which Palmer mentioned. And for 15 years, this is the 16th year, Catalyst has existed really to gather and inspire and equip leaders. And primarily the next generation, but we just said we love Jesus, we love leadership, and we want to do something for our generation. And that was really our vision behind Catalyst. And, for 16 years, God's given us incredible opportunities to gather leaders all over the world, and especially in the United States. And over those 16 years, I think I've learned a couple of things about leadership. And we've been talking about these the last couple of weeks, like humility, hunger, and today, hustle. And so I just want to jump in to this idea of hustle and give you a few things to think about in terms of your own leadership. And for all of us, this is really important for us to understand and start with. Every one of you in this room, sitting here looking at me or looking around or looking at your phone, all of us are leaders, every single one of us. And you think, Brad, I don't run a company, I don't lead anybody. I'm a stay-at-home mom, or I'm a student, or I'm a seventh grader, or I'm retired. Well, you might be, but you are a leader because leadership is influence. That is the ultimate sort of place you start with leadership, is that it's influence. So I'm guessing that every single person in this room is influencing at least one other person. We can all shake our heads on that, right? Like everybody is shaking your head going, yes, I influence at least one person. It's my spouse, and I've been trying for 40 years to influence them, and they're finally coming around. But all of us are leaders because we all have influence. So that's where we're starting. So don't check out on me. Don't think, oh, this is a leadership talk. I'm not a leader. You are a leader because leadership is influence. And we're going to talk about hustle. I love the word hustle. I love it. I love it because I grew up understanding that hustle was the name of the game. I grew up the son of a football coach. And any of you who've played sports for a lot of your life, you know that you hustle when you're in sports. And at some point in our journey, we start to think, hustle, I don't know about hustle. I don't know about hustle. We have also watched culture in general just sort of abducted the word hustle from the Christian world. And I want to take it back. I want the Christian community, churches, those of us who follow Jesus, I want us to be known when we walk into the corporate arena, when we walk into culture, when we walk into the marketplace, when we walk into our neighborhoods, people look at us and go, now there's a person who hustles, and this is a positive thing, right? So I'm going to give you two things today around hustle. There's many more in the book, habits that you want to live out, but I want to really focus in on a couple this morning. And the first one is this. As you think about being a leader who hustles, we have to have a habit of excellence. A habit of excellence. And what is excellence? What is excellence? It's simply this. Be great at what you do. Be great at what you do. Be the best in the world, in fact, at what you do. Be the best. You're an accountant? Awesome. Go be the best accountant the world has ever seen. Your company has ever seen. Your industry has ever seen. You're a barista at Starbucks? You're a barista at a coffee shop? Awesome. Go be the best barista the world has ever seen. You're a student? Go be the best student possible. Whatever you walk into on Monday, tomorrow, Monday through Saturday, and Sunday, but especially the times when you're out trafficking in the world, in culture, be the best at what you do. Be great. Now, the hard part about this sometimes is that we have a reputation among some of our peers as Christians that we're not really great at what we do. And I don't like that. In fact, I have a lot of friends in Atlanta, Georgia, who don't follow Jesus, and they're really good friends of mine, and they'll say to me, Brad, I don't understand your faith thing. I don't know what's going on with you. I don't understand the Jesus thing, what's happening. But, I appreciate your intentionality, and I appreciate that you have good intentions in my life. But a lot of the Christians I work with in my job, they pretty much are the worst employees ever. Whoa. Wow. Ouch. Ouch. Now, I don't think a lot of those Christians that my friends are talking about are trying to be the worst employees ever. I don't think they're walking in every day going, if I have a goal, it's to be the worst possible employee this company has ever seen. No, nobody's walking in like that. But sometimes as Christians, we think, okay, all of a sudden I've become this follower of Jesus, so everything about me has to switch over to sharing my faith at all times. And being that person who's sometimes a little bit too pushy and the annoying person. And I know that's not any of you. I know that none of you do that, right? But sometimes we walk in and we feel like I'm going to put all the eggs of my basket as a follower of Jesus, walking in, leading in the Monday through Saturday. I'm going to put them all into this one basket of my only goal here at my job is to help people discover Jesus. Now, that is incredibly important. That's part of our role as Christians. But I would suggest, based on this idea of excellence, I would suggest that while you're walking in with your Jesus jersey on, you might want to walk in with your excellence jersey on too, right? So tomorrow, you might think, you know what, I'm going to go in and my goal is going to be the best spreadsheet producer that this company has ever seen. And my little cube over here that I have, here's my cube. Here's my space at my organization. And sometimes as Christians, we walk in and we've got like 17 Bibles out all over our desk. We've got like the 10 Commandments up, and we've got like every Jesus poster we've ever found over the course of our walking with Jesus. And we've got like fish everywhere. I know that's not it's none of you. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that. But sometimes we walk in and we've got that happening, and our coworkers, they try to like avoid us as they walk by the cube. But sometimes they walk up, and here's what they want to say to us as Christians. They want to say, hey, like, thank you for all the Jesus stuff happening here. Appreciate that. Could you just turn your report in on time? Ouch. Right? Can you just get that project done? Can you be the best in the world at what you do? Because that's what we need from you right now. I don't need all the Jesus language. I just need you to turn your stuff in. I just need you to be a really good employee. And I think if we just shift a little bit, some of us, if we walk in and we think, okay, I'm coming in and I'm going to be great. I'm going to be the best in the world at what I do. And I'm going to back that up with a sense of character, right? That people trust me, that I'm trustworthy, that I'll do what I said I would do, that I'll follow up. And then maybe a day later, maybe an hour later, maybe a day, maybe a week later, maybe a month later, that same employee will come by and they'll say, hey, Jojo, man, I don't know what's happening with you, but like I've never seen spreadsheets turned in the manner in which you turn in your spreadsheet. That is the best spreadsheet turn in I've ever seen in the history of our company. And Jojo just says, okay, competence, then character, and then faith. And at some point, that person who continues to see you do your job well is going to come by and they're going to say, there's something about you, and I cannot figure it out. What is that secret sauce? And here's where you're going to go, because this is the reason we live out excellence as Christians. This is the reason. In Matthew 5, you've probably heard this many times, this verse many times. Matthew 5:16, let your light shine before men. Let your accounting, let your spreadsheets, let your project management, let your leadership, your influence, let it shine before men in such a way that they may what? They may see your good works, and then do what? And then glorify your Father who is in heaven. So our job as believers, as followers of Jesus who walk into the public square to lead with excellence, the reason we do that is because we're going to reflect our Father in heaven. We're not going to absorb the credit. We're just going to reflect it back to our Father in heaven. I love Daniel. Daniel is one of those Old Testament characters that live this out. And if you know the story of Daniel, I'm not going to dive deep into it, but I just want to cut a little bit of a swath of Daniel's story. And what was happening at the time, Daniel was taken by Nebuchadnezzar. And a lot of you, many of you feel like even your jobs, you feel like you're in a foreign land, owned by a really bad boss. And this was what happened with Daniel. He's assigned to be in the king's court and doesn't want to be there. He doesn't want to be there. And this is what Daniel does. This is what he lives out. These 4 youths, and if you remember the story, it was Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These 4 youths, God gave them knowledge and intelligence in every branch of literature and wisdom. Daniel even understood all kinds of visions and dreams. What's happening here is that Daniel's taken in, and he decides, along with the 3 brothers, you know what? We're in a place that we don't want to be. We've been given an assignment that we really don't want. But part of our role to walk in here is to be the best at what we do. And in chapter 2, going over into some other verses, here's what happens, is the king starts to notice the excellence factor of Daniel. And he starts to say, hey, where's that boy that I hear is interpreting dreams? And all of a sudden, the excellence factor starts to show up even more and more and more. And in chapter 6, which again, we don't have time to dive into the story, here's what it says in chapter 6. After Daniel has proven himself, competence, character, and now faith. Chapter 6, verse 4, then the commissioners and satraps began trying to find a ground of accusation against Daniel, but they could find no ground of accusation, inasmuch as he was faithful and no negligence or corruption was to be found in him. Daniel began distinguishing himself among the commissioners because he possessed an extraordinary spirit. The king planned to appoint him over the entire kingdom because what? He was doing his work with excellence. Part of our job as Christians who follow God, love God, and are walking into the marketplace and into the arena we walk into is to be great at what we do. Be the best in the world. Anybody love The Voice? Anybody watch The Voice? Yeah. Survivor? Any Survivor fans? Shark Tank? Any Shark Tank fans? All these shows are put on by a friend of mine, Mark Burnett. He's the producer. You see his name at the end of the shows. Mark Burnett loves Jesus. And Mark Burnett has become one of the most legendary producers in Hollywood today. And he's walking in doing The Voice, and he's doing Shark Tank, and he's doing Survivor, and he also did the Bible series, which many of you probably saw, on the History Channel, which was the most watched cable show ever in the history of cable television. He also did the Bible movie. So here's a follower of Jesus in the middle of Hollywood saying, hey, you know what? Like, I do stuff really well. I do The Voice. It's the best show on TV when it comes to music. I do Shark Tank. But I'm building credibility with my peers and with my friends based on the fact that I'm the best in the world at what I do. And everybody in Hollywood right now wants to work with Mark Burnett. And I love that he's living this idea out that says, I'm going to go in and I'm going to be great. You know why? Because I'm reflecting my Father who's in heaven. Our job is to be the best in the world. We have a game today. We have a team today that hopefully will make it to the Super Bowl. Now, your Arizona Cardinals did not start training camp in August with the idea of, you know what, guys? I feel like, I know we're here, we're sweating, we're working hard, we're fighting in training camp, we're working our guts out, we're trying to get better, we're trying to be excellent, but I feel like if we were just 8-8, that would be sort of the standard we want to set for this year. No NFL team, player, coach, manager, IT coordinator, equipment manager for any NFL team has ever said that. They all show up at training camp and they say, we're going to go win the Super Bowl. And how many get to win that? One. but they're pursuing a standard of perfection that says we want to go 19-0. We want to be the best in the world at what we do. So the challenge for you is this. Set a standard that scares the daylights out of you. Set a standard in your life, not just in your job, but as a father, as a mother, as a neighbor, as a son or daughter, as a sister or brother, as a CEO, as a business owner, as a manager, whatever you're walking into, set a standard that says, I'm going to go be great. In fact, I'm going to go be the best in the world because I want the world to see my excellence, and then I can glorify my Father who is in heaven. Be great at what you do. The second thing is this, and this is good news for all of us. The second thing as it relates to hustle is faithfulness. Faithfulness. Stick with itness. Stick with itness. Now, a lot of you who are older and wiser, and you've been around a long time, you are amening under your breath right now. You're like, Brad, preach that, brother, because that's good. Come on, preach it. I've been telling all my grandkids and all these young people today they need to stick with stuff because this is the short-term generation. 7 seconds and they're out, like they're doing something else. Well, that's an argument we can have another time. But I do know this, that the way we can prove that we're a leader who hustles is that we're faithful to where God places us. So this is the other side of the equation from excellence. Be great at what you do. Be the best in the world at what you do. Be best in the world at what you do right now, today, like in the present, tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. The stewardship that you have over whatever you've been assigned to do is your greatest assignment you've ever been given. And many of us walk into whatever we have right now, and what are we thinking? We're thinking, no, I got a vision, Brad. I got a vision for starting a new company or changing jobs, or I want to start this ministry, or I want to, like you have dreams for the future, and those are really important for you. But what God is saying to you, what he's saying to me, the challenge he's giving us is, I understand. I understand there's stuff out here, but the way I'm measuring you as a steward, the way I'm giving you a scorecard in the kingdom of God is based on what are you doing with right now? What are you doing with right now today? How are you stewarding the assignment I've given you? I mentioned just a second ago that I worked on a ranch in Colorado after college. Now, I went to school at OU, and I grew up in Oklahoma, and I thought my dream, the vision, the next was that I was going to be a senator in the state of Oklahoma by the time I was 35. By the time I was 25, I would be working for one of our senators as a chief of staff. I mean, I had aspirations. I had goals. And some of you are shaking your head because you're like, yes, Brad, I get that. I did too. And here's what happened for me. I graduate from school at 22, and I go work on this ranch. And at 25, when I had thought that I would be the chief of staff, or at least interning or on the staff of an Oklahoma senator, here's what I was doing at 25 in the middle of Colorado. Oh, yeah, that's great, Brad. Like, all those dreams, man, you had major aspirations. You wanted to be in politics. Well, this is a lot like politics, actually. This is very similar to Washington, D.C. We scoop a lot of this stuff. Huh. Oh, yeah, Mr. Senator, right. Yeah. Oh, Mr. Big Time at Oklahoma. Yeah, Mr. Big Man on campus. What are you doing now, big boy? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And here I am at 25, questioning God, saying, God, like, I thought there was something significant for me. I thought you had plans for me that I was going to change the world. And here's what God said to me back. And I'm like most of you, I didn't hear a voice, but I heard a voice. And God was speaking very clearly saying, Brad, the way you scoop poop right now, today, 1995, the way you're scooping that poop, the way you're making Lost Valley Ranch stand out as the greatest, cleanest ranch in the history of the world, the way you do that today, Brad, is the scorecard you're getting in my kingdom. Oh, come on. That is such good news. Thank you. I'm going to scoop this poop like I'm the best pooper scooper that the poopy scooping world has ever seen in the history of pooper scoopers. Come on. Faithful to where I am. Faithful to my assignment. Faithful to where I've been placed. Faithful. I'm a steward of what I've been given. I'm going to stick with it. This may not be my dream job, but it's currently my day job. I'm sticking here. I'm going to be the best, the best, the best. And the beauty of this, men and women, the beauty of this is that so many of us think that, oh, Brad, like, you're the catalyst guy now. You're stewarding a movement of hundreds of thousands of leaders. You're getting to play in the big time. You're getting to play in the major leagues. You're getting to sit at the table with all the big dogs. And my encouragement to many of you is this. Yeah, I am right now, and I'm honored to do that. But a few years ago, I was there. And I had to learn that this is my most important assignment today. The shadows and dark room, the places nobody sees, the faithfulness to the ordinary is the place where God gives us the scorecard of our success in the kingdom. So you're one, we know the parable of the talents, right? You're one that you may have been given for today. You're 5, you're 10. Some of you, you've been given talents that are 100. But your 1 turned into 2. This is so encouraging for all of us. Your 1 turned into 2 is equal in the kingdom of God. The report card that you get in eternity, it's equal to the 100 turned into 200. So for all of us, most of us who never will have that sense that we thought was significant, God's saying to you, he's encouraging you today, no, just be faithful. Turn your 1 that I've given you into 2. Luke 16:10, right? Luke 16:10 says, faith with little will be faithful with much. The shadows, the places that you're being asked to be faithful, to be true to your assignment, those are the things that God is watching and that he will give you a sense of well done, good and faithful servant. I want to end with this idea. I love this quote from Martin Luther King. Some of you know this. If a man is called to be a street sweeper, he should sweep streets, even as Michelangelo painted or Beethoven composed music or Shakespeare wrote poetry. He should sweep streets so well that all the hosts of heaven and earth will pause to say, here lived a great street sweeper who did his job well. Excellence, be the best in the world at what you do. Be great. Be willing to walk in tomorrow and say, my goal right now is to be the best spreadsheet accountant, barista, project manager, VP, marketing developer that our organization has ever seen. The other side, be faithful. Stick with it. The journey is what defines you. Be willing to stick it out. Because God truly does care. And I'm going to end with this. God truly does care about the Monday through Saturday you're walking into. And some of us in life, some of you have been in a job for 10 years, 15, 20 years, and you think, God doesn't care about selling widgets. God doesn't care about me distributing pipes. God doesn't care about me being an accountant for this insurance company. God doesn't care about me helping this organization do better marketing. Well, I think he does. I really do. And I think part of our role is to ask him, God, how can you be more glorified? How can you be more glorified in the Monday through Saturday that I'm walking into? Because the beauty is this. The beauty of the church, the beauty of your life, the beauty of your influence is this. Sunday matters, men and women. Sunday matters. But Monday through Saturday is where you have the ministry. So go be great. Go be the best in the world at what you do Monday through Saturday. And be faithful to where you found yourself Monday through Saturday. That's your call. That's your commandment. And that's your commission. Thank you.